Now we are live and now we are recording. This isn't a formalized event. This is nothing like my Wine Antics live on Thursday night where I have like a totally pre-planned kind of schedule, a guest interview, yada yada. This is just an opportunity for some of us to meet face to face. So I'm gonna invite you to broadcast because I want to know who you are behind your Twitter handles, behind your Facebook posts. But I wanted to ask, first of all, how many people are actually doing the pre-conference excursions? Like, I've never done one of these, so right off the bat, I was very excited to do it, and I signed up for the Livermore Valley, only because I think that's pretty much all that was left. I kind of jumped in late. So, Sarita, are you doing any of the pre-conference excursions?
No. I typically don't do any of the pre or post, but I've heard great things. It's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, can you hear that?
I hear what?
It's replaying. Wait. Oh, my bad. Hold on. I think that's me. Sorry. Sorry.
And anybody else?
Browser up?
You might.
Yeah. Okay.
Which
okay.
an Amador.
Okay.
And I would love Wine Casual. I'm sorry I don't know your name. I'm going to invite you to come on and chat. Hey Rhett, thanks for joining us. This is awesome. This is what I wanted. I wanted, like, we can have up to 6 people here in this little chat function, and I want to share what we're looking forward to with the pre-conference excursions. Are you doing one, Rhett?
Yeah, I'm going to the Livermore one.
I will see you there then too.
It was hard to decide, but I'm a big California Cabernet fan, and they got like the biggest, oldest Cabernet plant there, so really excited for that.
I think I just saw the fact that there were like 6 wineries, and I'm like, yes, I'm that ambitious. Not normally.
I'll bring 6 glasses. It's called a tasting. It's classy.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Only 1 ounce pours. So because the first one that's actually on our list, and I have the link while Jenny's telling us about it, I am going to put the link up so everybody knows what we're talking about. But Jenny, do tell us about the Lodi Wine Commission's pre-conference excursion.
All right, sure. So the pre-conference excursion from Lodi, of course, kicks off like the others do on Wednesday evening. And sorry if I keep looking down, I have notes here so I remember everything that's in the excursion. But what we're going to be looking at is Lodi's experimental wines, the wines varieties that are not in high production here in Lodi, like some of the German and Austrian varieties that we grow here, some of the Iberian varieties that we grow here. So we're doing staying true to our roots, so to speak. The Wine Grape Commission here is funded by the Lodi grape growers, so we'll be doing a lot of vineyard exploring, tastings in the vineyard, what we like to call tailgate tastings right off the back of a pickup truck. So you'll be tasting wines while you're in the vineyards. We've got some Zinfandel vineyards we'll be visiting, some Rhone vineyards, Picot Blanc, Grenache, Roussanne. We're going to the Colony Glen Vineyard, and they grow over 40 different German and Austrian varieties. Some of them are only a few vines each. It's really experimental, but we'll be tasting wines with them. Like I said, doing German and Iberian wines, and then we'll have dinner at one of the wineries Wednesday night. And then we're actually doing, what's really fun, at least for us, is we're doing a hand harvest, sunrise hand harvest on Thursday morning. So people do have to get up a little bit early, but you only have to work for an hour, and then we'll be having breakfast in the vineyard. So it's going to be a great experience. Yeah.
Okay. And is it the same experience? Somebody's echoing now. Is it the same experience for the pre-conference excursion as the post? Because you guys are hosting a post one as well.
Correct. We're doing a post excursion as well, but we kept both of the excursions totally different, just in case people attended both. So the post conference is focused on Lodi's old vine vineyards. So we'll be visiting a lot of Zinfandel vineyards that are pre-prohibition. We're also visiting the Bechtold vineyard, which is arguably the world's oldest Senso vineyard. It was planted in 1886. And we'll also be visiting an Old Vine Carrigan vineyard, and then we'll end with a panel tasting from some of Lodi's top wine growers. 6 different vineyards will be featured during that panel, and we'll end with dinner.
Apparently that's Maze Balls. Thank you.
Not the Maze Balls, by the way. To visit
Hi, Thea.
most amazing vineyard. Hi.
Hi.
It's
my sloppy afternoon look here. It's just it's all good.
Sarita's actually covering everything with a hat. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah.
I was going to say, Thea has a first-hand view of Lodi. She was actually just here, so.
I was. It was awesome.
So is there, because we have you here, Jenny, and because you're there, is there anything that we should be prepared for coming to Lodi? I mean, just in general terms, because we're talking about the pre-conference excursion, first days. So anything that we should know coming in?
I think for sure, if you're coming and you haven't been here just within the last 3 years, you should probably be prepared to be surprised by what you're going to find. I think that, most people come here expecting there to be just be Zin or just be red wines. And I think a lot of people coming are blown away by the amount of diversity we have. And the wines have improved considerably, I would say, over the last few years. And I can say that honestly. I mean, Lodi is a great growing region, but we're fairly young at winemaking. And it's exciting to be here at that time to see this advancement and discovery.
Well, I'd love to chime in on that because I'm local. I only live about an hour and a half away. And I always knew Lodi further Zin. And I'd actually argue with Jenny that it's not that young. There's been wine specifically with the Italians and in the Zinfandel family, and old Italian field blends are over 120 years. But I was blown away, and I specifically requested on my media trip anything but Zin because I'm very, very familiar with the Zin, and I was blown away. And I live here, so it takes a lot to impress me. So I loved it. I had a fabulous experience. So I'm super excited about the conference being there this year.
Hello. Gosh, I love that this is actually happening. Thank you, everybody, for coming on in. Thank you, Thea. Maybe you can actually expand on what Jenny was saying, like some first-time visitors to Lodi. What other pieces of information or advice would you give?
I definitely keep an open mind and just be aware there's a lot more going on than Zin. And there's amazing varietals out there. As Jenny was mentioning, Macomb and Glen, they have over 45 varietals of both Alsatian and sort of aromatic whites, as well as a couple of reds. There's amazing wines coming out of that vineyard, and they love to experiment. So Lodi is really a place of experimentation, and let's go with the flow and just have fun. There are things that make money. There are things that you can do that you can do, but then there are things you can experiment with. And I learned that, or was really re-exposed to that, but just by visiting there. And again, I live relatively close by, but I have never been out to Lodi to the vineyard, which is ridiculous. And now that I know that, I can go anytime I want. So people that are in the Bay Area, people that are in California, for that matter, just get out there and experience it. And I'm not going on the pre or post excursion because I have other plans, but anybody, I think there's still room on the post. I definitely advise you to sign up if you haven't already, because I think you'll really get some great experience out of that. And I know that the Friday excursions are going to be awesome, so I'm really excited about that as well.
What whites is Lodi known for? Because I know mostly the reds, of course, but especially the Zin. But what whites? You mentioned aromatic whites.
Reggie from Wine Casual. This is my first time doing a Who's Out. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, cool.
And Jen, if you want to invite Justin wants in on the video, and he's also local to Lodi, so
okay. So we can have up to 6 people on here. So if we can make things rotate out and go from there. I definitely want I want everybody to come on camera, at least introduce.
No, never mind.
No, you don't get off that easy. At least now we talked about at least the first conference excursion. Maybe we should take a minute and do a little bit of introduction for the couple people that I didn't already mention. I think everybody already knows Thea. I think she's pretty popular.
I don't know me much, Thea. I'm one of 5 people that have been to every single wine bloggers conference. I'm one of the founding wine bloggers. I run the scholarship and I'm on the advisory board.
Bam, she's done that a few times. And then we have Jenny Heitman, right?
Yes.
She's from the Lodi Wine Commission. She gave us a little bit of insider into the first pre-conference excursion. Next, we have Sarita. So introduce yourself, Sarita.
Hi guys, I'm Sarita Chavis. I'm a DC native, and my wine blog is Vine Me Up. So you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Periscope, everywhere at Vine Me Up.
Yep, get your plugs in while you can.
This is my third Wine Bloggers Conference.
Awesome, congratulations. Rhett, tell me a little bit about you.
Hey, I'm Rhett. I'm from the Vancouver, British Columbia area. You can find me at gonewiththewine.ca, also on Twitter at gonewiththewine, and rarely on Instagram, gonewith_thewine. I've had a few people when I introduce myself at tastings up here tell me that it's cute, but I just think it's fantastic. And I got into wine because of women, which you will read about on my website.
Smartest man I've met yet. Walk into every tasting room. I'm like, this is every single man's choice opportunity right here.
But you know what? There's not, I mean, I don't know, help me out here, Wine Casual. Like, I don't think guys understand and appreciate wine as much as women do. Or at least not as much as they think they do.
I don't know if I can help there, Rhett.
God, no.
I'm very envious of women's ability to smell better than men in general. So I always think that they're getting much more from the experience than I am. Just in general.
And
right.
You are Reggie? I'm sorry, did I get the...
Yeah, Reggie, Wine Casual. And Wine Antics, I'm so excited. This is your first conference. Because last year was my first conference.
Oh, yeah.
And at the Finger Lakes.
Legends.
Exactly.
I should have gone to that one since I was actually born in.
Really?
Yeah, you got to that. Where were you?
Not there last
How
year.
you
Don't worry,
should
I'm
come.
lots and lots of shit this year. Don't worry.
Well, I'm from Connecticut, so I'm here in Connecticut. So New York was a great first wine conference. So I have to give it up to Wine Antics for making the big right over. That's a big commitment for a first-time blogger. So congrats to you.
Well, thank you. I've been over to Sonoma before, and that was just on a whim. Like, it wasn't for any other reason, just to go over for wine. So have wine will travel, definitely, for me.
Cool. So what are you hoping to get out of the conference? Because I would love to tell you, like, whatever it is you want to know about your first conference. Is having just done this, I'd love to be as much help to you as possible.
Awesome. And I really appreciate that.
Rhett, too.
Let's save that a little bit towards the end to have the Q&A and discussion, because Jenny is here after her work or at about her work hours.
I'm okay.
You are? Okay. I just didn't want to make you feel like you had to come in and sit through everybody's.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Everybody can have a glass of rosé. Here, have some rosé.
I know. I got some water because I sprained my ankle, so I'm on med.
Seriously,
Oh my gosh.
I'm jealous. Everybody has wine. I have water too.
I got water.
We're going to talk about that,
Hey, mine's
Jenny.
from a
That's
box.
not okay.
I know.
Chris has got
Not
it.
acceptable.
And I don't want to forget the people that are out there in the chat land, which really appreciate it. There's 12 people watching, and for me, those are great numbers. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it is.
Stubb is probably drinking bourbon or whiskey. I'm not sure about Justin. And Chris, like he said, is drinking iced tea. Great to have you all here. I am doing the next pre-conference excursion, the Livermore. I see a lot of wineries. That's what I see on this, and I'm excited about that. Thea, do you have any kind of insight into this area or excursion?
I can't speak to the actual pre-con because I haven't looked at the itinerary, but Livermore really has some amazing wines. There, again, is over 100 years of history there that is really a hidden history, and I would say it's one of the most undiscovered regions in the Inner Bay Area. So we have 9 world-class growing regions, excluding Lodi, because that's sort of Central Valley. So in the San Francisco Bay Area, everybody knows Napa and Sonoma, but we have 9 world-class growing regions, and Livermore is one of them. And if you look at places like Wente and Concannon, they are larger production facilities. However, they have over 100 years of history, and you will get some amazing wines. In addition to that, there are also some transplant wineries. One of my favorites is called Page Mill. They used to be in Palo Alto, or really Woodside on Page Mill Road, but they moved to Livermore because it was more economical. They could plant their own vineyard, maintain the brand, maintain the name, but are producing amazing Livermore wines. And people overlook Livermore all the time, but there's some fantastic value and some fantastic good times out there. And really look for a lot of Petite Syrah, a lot of really big, bold reds, because it's a very warm climate, a lot of Chardonnay, and some unusual reds and whites as well. So I think you'll have a good time.
Oh, I'm sure I will. Is anybody else? I think I heard one other person was doing the Livermore excursion with me. Rhett is, yes.
Yeah.
I feel like Lodi is a little bit more well known, only for maybe because now I'm going to the Wine Bloggers Conference and I started doing a little bit more reading up on it. But I went through the Lodi Wine Commission's list of wineries that they represent, or the conglomerate of them. The tasting fees were very reasonable. They were like $5, $7, refundable after a purchase. They're not even doing that here in Virginia.
No, they're not.
Well, and I'll tell you something about tasting fees in particular in California, especially in the Bay Area and in Lodi. If you represent yourself well, as I know all of us will, and you mentioned you might be a wine writer, you're there for the conference, the red carpet will be rolled out for you. And honestly, tasting fees, I work in the industry as well, and tasting fees really are there to prevent people from being asshats and to make sure that you're not just sitting there chugging or tasting and tasting every single thing that they make. Now, if it's a smaller winery that's producing 2,000 cases, I'm going to pay the tasting fee regardless, because you're a tiny little winery. They're pouring everything for you. But most of the time, if you're there to learn and experience and you're taking notes and you're really interested, you're not going to have to pay that tasting fee anyway. It's really there to prevent abuse. If you keep that in your mind and you're being a professional, as I know we all are, I know that there are people that are not that attend these conferences, having been to 9 of them. I know that. Just keep that in mind. So, yes, tasting fees can be expensive in Napa, or they can be very inexpensive in other places, but they're really there as a deterrent for abuse. So just take that under your thumb when you think about what tasting fees are, as opposed to trying to make money off of you.
I was actually just very impressed by it, that it's reasonable and approachable price, and that there's a little bit of courtesy given back to the consumer with the refundable. So if that's what's happening in Lodi, I really feel hopeful for my trip out to Livermore. I know that everything is paid for, but it helps me to be very excited about visiting that region and recommending it to other people too.
Well, I think you'll find that Livermore is really affordable as well in terms of bottle prices.
Mm-hmm. Sarita, do you mind if I kick you for a second?
No,
okay.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I love you much, I swear.
Oh,
but
Bye, guys.
come on back in a little bit. All right, Chris. You're coming in the seat. I just wanted to get some people in and have the discussion, share as many different people as possible. Hopefully he can figure out how to broadcast at this point. The third excursion, which I heard more than one person saying that they were excited about, was the Alamore?
Mm-hmm.
Amador. There we go. I'll just let Thea or somebody else say it.
Where almonds are from.
Okay, the Vintners Association. And I know absolutely nothing about this, except that this all sounds very romantic, this pre-conference excursion. It's talking about dining al fresco, and there's going to be maybe a little wine tour, and rolling out the red carpet for a big dinner. I'm not sure. Oh, Leanne, have you been to the area, or do you know anything? I welcome any comments or whatever. Please.
I actually know Amador really well. I think what I'm exciting about Amador is you're going to get a lot of Rhone varieties, a lot of Zinfandel. That's a different style of Zinfandel. That's really what they're known for, but it's very, very different than Lodi's Zinfandel. They're up in the mountains a little bit, extremely varied. It's a large county with a lot of different sub-APAs. But also some really cool stuff like Cab Franc and Merlot that's growing up there. So it's just very rough and ready, a lot of fun, much more up and coming, less established. So it's going to be really interesting to see that dichotomy.
Can everybody see or hear me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
I actually can't see you, Chris, but that's okay. I can hear you.
That's all right. Well, that's the most important thing. My voice is, far better. No, Thea's right. Amador County, even though its history for winemaking predates Paso Robles, it's very much sort of evolved into a Paso Robles style region where they do everything across the board, from Spanish and Rhone varietals to Bordeaux's. You'll find some Portuguese up there, every style, but just a really exciting mountains of the Sierra foothills.
A lot of the winemaking is
literally
by the gold rush, and so you will have a lot of Portuguese, a lot of Italian, a lot of French, a lot of that mishmash because that's the center of the gold rush, and so that influence is still there. Hi, I'm Thea.
And it also, like Paso Robles, which is where I am, it has a huge diurnal temperature shift at night. So it'll get into the 90s and low hundreds during the day during the summer, but then it'll drop 30, 40, 50 degrees at night and really stay nice and cool, which is ideal for grapevine.
A lot more than you are in Paso. So in the mountains, you're going to have that temperature shift as well, and you're going to have a lot more microclimate.
If anybody in the chat has any questions, there's a little tab that says Q&A. Feel free to ask some questions, and I'll be able to pick them up there as we go along with the conversation. That sounds like a really exciting tour. Like, it's not fair. Like, all three of these pre-conference excursions sound so good. Can we just spread them out maybe in parts of the conference?
If I had to pick one, I would pick the Amador one. I think that's the one that's going to be most exciting. I like Livermore, but Livermore is kind of Wente, Concannon, and then everything else. Amador.
No. I wholeheartedly disagree. Those are the mainstays, and those are the big bulk producers. That is not what Livermore is. But Amador.
Oh no, I know there's Finestra and there's a lot of other good ones, but it sounds like that one is going to be kind of dominated by those two places.
Right, and it's also sold out.
Excursion.
Amador is sold out as well. So if you want to go to Excursion,
there you go.
Lodi and Ironstone Post Excursion.
I actually thought we were going to fight, like we were going to watch a fight.
We might. Thea and I might throw down at some point.
Oh, that's so level.
Well, this is what makes for good TV. I'm just saying.
I feel like I'm on the Brady Bunch.
Does that make me Bobby or Cindy? I can't remember who was on the bottom left corner.
If you're Cindy, we really have to have a chat because you're not, you don't have to gold. So.
So Wine Antics, in case you don't get to go to Amador this time around, try to go there at some point. I was so excited about the pre-excursion tour that I actually visited Lodi and Amador County in April.
Okay.
Just because I couldn't wait. So I can tell you, if you are interested in Cabernet Franc, try the Cabernet Franc in Amador County and compare it to the Cabernet Franc in Lodi. I think you can tell for this particular grape, it has different expressions in the different regions. So I don't know if you have a particular varietal that you're interested in right now, but that's one of the things that I thought was really cool. And I haven't tried a lot of Roussan before, Roussan or Marsan, some of the varietals that Theo was talking about before, but Amador County is a place to try it.
Oh, absolutely. I'm planning to stay a little bit either before or after, so I may peek around and see what else I can find out.
So if you do go to Amador, about an hour southeast of there is a little town called Murphy's, which is in Calaveras County, and it is the coolest little town. It sort of has a old west ghost town feel to it, but I mean it's still a lot of shops and restaurants and whatnot. But every third business is a tasting room. I think there's like 16 or 20
24
wineries that have tasting rooms. 24. Thank you, Thea. You know everything. Is there anything Thea doesn't know?
Not about Cal 21.
Well, then this question is actually really good for you then, because Justin asked, any spirit at Wine Bloggers Conference 16? Thea?
Pardon me, I have a top on my mistake. Yeah, hi. Gosh, Justin, I don't know. Are there any spirits in the Bloggers Conference? Aha!
Go ahead.
What Justin is alluding to, and he's not on video, so I'm going to speak for him because I'm working in a partnership with him. He actually is the Wizard of Whiskey, and he works very extensively with a number of spirits producers and also spirit guilds. And he has set up a hospitality suite with a number of these spirit producers, both local and otherwise, and he would love to have everybody come and taste those spirits and talk about them. And if I'm missing anything, Justin, you can yell at me later.
No, I hope to cycle everybody in so you can get a chance to talk about what you're looking forward to or what you've got going on. But definitely put a link in for us, Justin, if you're looking to expand your party, your event. So did I miss a pre-conference excursion?
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Did I miss one? There's only 3, right?
There's Ironstone is hosting a post-conference, I believe.
Okay.
Right. Yeah,
I was just making sure.
There's 3 pre and 2 post.
Okay. Good. Then I didn't miss anything. Oh, Chris gave me permission to kick him. Bye, Chris.
Thanks.
Yeah, I know him. All right, Justin, come on in, and you can follow up to Thea's. I know you do. I also know you have to go to a play at 7 o'clock, so I'm actually helping you along, sir. I don't want Teresa mad at me. So, did you make it in, Justin?
How's everybody doing? Can anyone see me?
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What's going on, everyone?
So is there anything you would like to follow up with what Thea had said?
Yeah, so she pretty much nailed it. I'm putting together a hospitality suite. I finally got the lawyers to sign off on a few things at the Holiday Inn. So anyone staying at the hotel or anyone staying at any of the hotels is welcome to come by. The suite will be set up Thursday through Saturday. I'm still waiting to see if there's a huge crowd that wants to do it on Sunday, then I can always keep it till then. But so far, there's about 15 distilleries involved. I've got some great international stuff. It's all craft. It's all small batch. This isn't stuff you're gonna find, for the most part at Total Wine or a Bevmo or Benny's or Liquor Barn or wherever. So it's going to be really cool stuff, and I've gotten some sponsors to come on board and really help me put together a hell of a spirits tasting. So I appreciate all of Thea's help. Last year was my first conference actually in the Finger Lakes, and before I showed up to the conference,
he's one of my scholarship kids.
Yeah, and I happen to be. I guess I'm still on the committee, right?
This year, unfortunately, we had a little bit of a challenge getting funding, so there aren't that many this year. But we vary between like 3 and 15, depending on how much money we get and how much need there is. But I'll talk a little bit more about that later.
And Chris actually asked another question. It's directed towards you, Justin.
Yes.
It says, "What local producers are you showcasing?"
That's a fantastic question. So which one is Chris? It doesn't matter.
Chris has Forgotten Grapes.
Gotcha. Okay. I see. Oh, I see it on the little screen here. Okay, got it. Sorry, it's my first chat. You can attest the fact that I'm not a tech person. So we've got several California distilleries. Napa Distillery just signed on, as well as Green Bar down in Los Angeles. Thea, Brad over at Coastal Spirits. He's most likely going to be there. The Spirits, at least. Who else? Dry Diggings, which is in Otter County, technically, will most likely be there. It's funny, the local ones are giving me the hardest time, actually giving me a straight answer. So I'm trying to put this all together, but I'm also heading down to Tales of the Cocktail on Wednesday night, which is going to be kind of a shit show. I don't know if any of you have ever been, but if you can go, definitely check it out. If you're a cocktail and spirits enthusiast, try and get a press pass for next year. It's definitely worth checking it out. So.
Oh, okay. And I didn't even give Chris a chance to introduce who he is, so I'm just going to show his best product that I know.
Well, okay, I'll go ahead and just talk about my swag here. They came out mirror image. They turned out really, really well. I'm super excited. So these are the Wine Lover Against Cancer awesome recycled 100% cotton canvas bags that are for Wine Lovers Against Cancer. Also to raise money for the scholarship. As y'all probably know, I run the Wine Blogger Scholarship Fund. It's my 9th or 8th year running the scholarship. It is my 9th conference. I'm one of 5 people that have been to every single conference. And we are a nonprofit. So we will be selling these fabulous bags stuffed full of amazing goodies like this Superfly WBC keepsake glass, which everybody needs one because they're stemless and they don't break. It's not a Govino, but they don't break. The stuff at my table on Friday at lunch, I have ribbons, I have cap appendages, I have glasses, I have bags, and all money goes to the scholarship for next year. Sorry, Timmy lost you, so I took over.
Very, very good. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can see you too.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you could see or hear me before. Very good. And where's your table going to be?
So at the lunch on Friday, which is the expo, which is an almost 2-hour event, I will be there at the scholarship table. I don't know physically where it's going to be yet, but we'll be emblazoned with all of our scholarship stuff, and there'll be a bunch of people there with t-shirts identifying who we are, so you'll be able to see us very clearly. We accept donations. We're selling swag. If you donate ahead of time, we'll give you swag, and we'll be sharing information about the scholarship.
All right. We're going to go into one more time with Jenny in 1 second, but I didn't give Chris a chance to introduce who he was. I'm sorry. I made him come in and leave too fast. He's actually from PasosBestWines.com as well as ForgottenGrapes.com. One of the best demonstrations of his show actually is his YouTube, You Don't Know Paso. Has anybody seen that?
I love those videos.
Yeah, he's both him and Cork Envy or Stub got together and created a show that is very similar to a Canadian version, a round table tasting, blind tasting of Paso's wines. So I just wanted to put up the link for 30 seconds on that, and then give Justin a chance to introduce himself and tell us a little bit about who he is, even though he already invited us all to one giant party.
Sure. And then you're welcome to kick me off and put Chris back on if you'd like. So I'm Justin Corey, aka the Wizard of Whiskey. I've been a wine and spirits writer as well as retailer for many years. I just moved out to California from Chicago. And in fact, I live in Elk Grove, which I think Jennifer from Lodi knows. I live like down the block from Cameron, apparently.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So we're like a couple blocks from each other. But so if anyone needs an extra ride or wants to stay for a day or so afterwards, or come in a day before, I'm happy to cart people around and take people where they need to go.
You said ride?
As long as it's not like Seattle or something. What's that?
I just want to come drink your whiskey.
There will be whiskey. It's like the movie with the guy. There will be whiskey. Don't worry.
Yeah.
There's gonna be plenty of whiskey. So yeah, the tasting I'm putting together. I put a very, very small one together last year. Basically, I visited a couple of distilleries for the conference, and I convinced one of the producers to say, hey, give me, some bottles to take back, and I'll see if I can get these bloggers to talk about it, because I'd never been to a blogging conference. And so they sent me back with 9 bottles. And
Oh, wow.
that was just one distillery, and I was like, this is way too much. So I had it in my hotel room. This year, I've actually got a proper suite. There's going to be couches. There's going to be a piñata. I'm not going to tell you what kind. I'm not going to be surprised. But it's going to be a pretty wicked tasting. So yeah, that's me.
Okay, great. And if anybody wouldn't mind stepping out of the seat and like just listening in the chat, I'm going to invite Stub on here, and I think Leanna is still here as well.
I'll fall on my sword.
You'll fall on your sword. Thank you. We will connect though.
I don't even know how to get off this thing. So
I think there's a stop broadcast.
There's a stop streaming.
I'm going to invite her, and then Stub, maybe you can come on. We'll see who can come on. It's always a round robin. So the big event that everybody, whether they're doing the pre-excursions or not, is the reception, the welcome. You've gone through, you've gotten your name tag, you've registered, and then you come into this big grand event, which Jenny is going to tell us more about, which I'm excited about.
All right, so for Thursday night, we're hosting, as you said, the opening reception, and we chose not to rent a fancy hall or a restaurant. We are actually hosting the Thursday night opening reception at the home of one of our wine grape growers, Bruce, and his dad, Jerry Fry, and his wife, Peggy, will be hosting it at their home. So their home sits on Lodi's Moore Fry Ranch, and Moore Fry Ranch is about 225 acres, and on the ranch they grow 12 different wine grape varieties. They actually grow heirloom beans and cherries on the ranch, so you'll be right within the vineyard at their home that night. And we're going to have probably about 10 to 12 wineries, and those wineries will be showcasing vineyard designate wines from some of Lodi's most esteemed vineyards, like the Bechtold Vineyard, Sanso, Marion's Vineyards, and Findel, planted early 1900s.
Bechtold, woohoo!
You'll probably get some. Right?
Sorry.
You'll probably get some Marion. But they'll be showcasing those wines, grapes that will have been picked from those vineyards. And even though some of those grapes probably won't be at the right bricks level, it'll just be interesting to be able to taste those alongside the wines. And then we'll also be showcasing some library wines from those wineries that are there. And whoever guesses most correct on the bricks levels, we're going to give them a case of vineyard designate wines as a prize. We thought that might be kind of fun just to test people's knowledge on that. We're going to have wood-fired pizza that night, gourmet pizza. So we've got an Italian combo, we've got margarita, we've got shrimp, and then we're also going to have live music. So we're, kick back on their front lawn right next to the vineyard, watch the sunset, pizza, wine. So that's what we've got planned.
How, if you don't mind me asking, and forgive me, I've forgotten your name. I feel terrible because I just see loaded. Jenny. Okay, I thought it was Jen. I wasn't sure. How far is that location from the hotels? I know there'll be shuttles, but there are a couple of other parties or whatnot going on that Thursday. So for those of us who want to Uber it over or, take a cab or whatnot,
you're less from all of the 3 host hotels. I think they just rolled in the Best Western on Cherokee. So the Holiday Inn Express, the Hampton Inn, you're less than 5 miles. I'd say you're probably within a couple of miles from those hotels.
Okay, and we'll get the address of that so that we can, tell an Uber where to go and whatnot.
Correct, and the address is actually listed in our blog post on the Wine Bloggers Conference right now. If you scroll to the bottom of that blog, the address is there.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I was just looking for that because I saw there was even like little walking directions from the hotel.
Well, that was meant to be driving directions.
Directions. I was hoping it was walking.
Not walking.
Which is experience no one should do. The driving, by the way.
Yes.
No, but like we said, we will be offering complimentary shuttles from all 3 hotels that night, and we haven't posted the exact pickup times, but those will be posted at the hotels as well. So.
Tanisha, you don't want to come on in and introduce yourself? Come on. Come on. I know you're in Paris. I know it's rough. I was actually really excited to read about the bricks tasting, like guess the bricks.
Yeah.
I know I'm not that good.
I'm going to start preparing by having partial teaspoons of sugar in random amounts between now and then. So
I'm still my idea, which is I'm going to take sugar water in varying formats and use my hydrometer on it. And, I'm buying a hydrometer just for this event.
That's a good idea.
Right. I mean, I guess we could start looking at what grapes are typically harvested at for each variety, and you're ahead of harvest right now, so you want to kind of go backwards maybe.
So we're at somewhere between 18 and 22 at this point right now.
Nice.
It's a safe bet. They harvest at 25, 26. So
correct.
Gosh, that must be nice.
Oh my God! Sorry, I sounded like I apologize.
So, if you feel like I gave you a fair introduction, Chris, that's fine. Or if you would like to say a little bit more, please introduce who you are.
No, that was great. You got everything I needed. Chris Kern, half my time in Paso Robles, half my time in Southern California. Wine entrepreneur, blogger, video guy, partner in crime with the two on the right of the screen, at least as I can see. Forgotten Grapes, Opus.com, Paso's Best Wines. You to know Paso, and we're going to be relaunching Spin the Bottle, which I'm very excited about, our weekly news roundtable, wine and beverage news roundtable program that will be kicking off soon enough. So.
Yeah.
And that only.
Hi, Thea.
Because you haven't lived until you've seen Chris and I play Spin the Bottle together.
I feel the animosity on the screen. That only leaves one other person that hasn't introduced himself since Tanisha refuses to get on because it's 4 o'clock in the morning there. Stub, my lovely co-host to Wine Antics Live and resident lifestyle expert, please introduce yourself.
Sorry, that cracks me up a little bit.
Lifestyle expert? Wait.
Oh yeah, I'm on the TV now. It's crazy, right?
Oh Lord.
Good morning, Blue Ridge. Good morning, Blue Ridge.
Nice. I am Stub from CorkNavy.com. Pledge chair. Nice dude. No. I do wine. This is going to be my 5th conference, so I know Thea's like doubled me up on these, and I've only missed one since I've started attending because of scheduling, and man, these are a lot of fun, and I kind of can't wait. I did not go to Penticton.
Oh, you missed a good one.
Yeah, I heard that. I was so upset, but yeah, just scheduling thing.
Oh, and this is 3 for me, by the way. So sorry.
This is my first one.
Nice.
Yeah.
We love virgins.
Please don't talk.
I can also give advice that anything Thea's doing, follow her too. She knows where all the cool stuff is.
It's a true story.
Is that there's one of the days where there's like 3 different events that are happening? Is that where I should be following Thea? Like there's 3 different buses or multiple different buses, and I just need to kind of follow the herd?
There's actually more than 3 buses.
No, that one just hop on any bus.
But what you're talking about is Friday night. So every year there are excursions into the vineyards in the local area. And Jenny can speak more to this specifically. But the number of buses strictly depends on the number of people and how we're going to split it out. But basically, you really don't know what bus you're getting on, or you may have a little bit of a hint. But you get on a mystery bus and you go out into the vineyards and you learn about the vineyards, or 2 or 3, depending on how it's been different every single year, which is awesome. And you get to taste the wine of a few different people, and there's always a fabulous dinner, and you get to do some fun activities out in the vineyards.
Yeah, it's really awesome, and everyone brags that their bus is the coolest bus, and some people are right every now and again, but
so that's okay. But
okay,
yeah,
maybe
one always breaks down
that's
every
also
year.
True.
Yeah,
but like last year, I ended up going to Glenora. Is Sarita's still on? She was there as well, where we got to do our own disgorgement and dosage of bubbly.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it was really cool. And with these wineries, usually, I mean, they really roll out the red carpet for us on those nights, and it's a really fun time. Yeah, it's a really fun time.
Chris, my bus broke down one year and it got lost another year, so that's totally different. Okay.
So don't follow.
You're right.
Thea,
I'm sorry.
then.
I apologize.
Don't follow Thea on Friday night.
Don't follow Thea's bus. Every other time, follow Thea, just not on the bus.
They were both repurposed school buses, and I think that probably was the problem. But yeah,
Whatever.
It's a lot of fun. And one really key piece of advice that I have: a lot of years people try and bug me or bug the organizers or bug. And by the way, I don't work for Zephyr. I'm completely separate. I do the scholarship. A lot of people think I work for Zephyr. I do not. I don't know where the buses are going. That's part of the fun. Don't try and figure out where they're going, because you'll ruin the surprise and you'll ruin the fun. So
I was just about to ask Jenny that. So could you give us some insight?
In Penticton activity, we didn't know where we were going, but we knew we were either going kayaking or stand-up paddleboarding or hiking. That's all we knew. Once you got there, you realized here's all the different activities.
That's about as much as the locals know there too.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I will say that.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah,
I will say that in keeping with Lodi's experimental nature, we're going a little bit rogue this year with the winery excursions. So yeah, Thea kind of knows, so she doesn't know where they're going, but we're actually doing something fun with Thea on what do you call this, Thea? The badge ribbons?
Badge bling.
Badge bling. Okay. So what we're doing this year is we actually have about 15 different excursions, which is different than in years past when they have more closer to probably 8 to 10. So we're keeping the excursions a little bit smaller, a little bit more intimate, and allowing our wineries to spoil the attendees a little bit more.
Nice.
So we're going to be naming those excursions fun names. And I know you didn't think it was good, Thea, but like Grenache Guru, or maybe based off of the theme of their excursion. So we will let people choose.
So if I see one called Sinso, that's the one I should be getting on.
That's good.
Because Simsomi is one that I already bought. That's the blogger bling, but everything else, they're all going to be the same color to make it easy. But for those of you that are...
Of course you thought of that one. Yes. Why would I think anything different?
So blogger bling are these really cool badge ribbons that we put on the bottom of your badge that are totally dorky and just funny, and you get to talk to people and make fun of them. And that's how we raise money for the scholarship. And so we're tying in the excursions to that because Jenny and I thought it would be fun. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be and you'll see the blog.
Yeah, so you'll be able to start grabbing the badge ribbons on Thursday night during the opening reception. So, I think what you really want to do is start getting together with your friends. If there's 10 of you, and say, hey, we're all going to get there and choose all 10 of these. We're going to make sure we're all on the same excursion. You'll put that on your badge, and then you're welcome to swap out badges up until Friday night, depending on which excursion your friends are going to. But I will say that what I have seen from the wineries that are hosting is, you definitely got that vineyard element at all of those, along with specialty tastings. And a lot of them, keeping with Lodi's hospitality, a lot of them are making the meals themselves. You've got people making paella themselves. You've got traditional Italian families making the food. So you're definitely going to you're invited into our homes, essentially.
That's pretty awesome.
I would like to throw my vote for not the collusion of people blocking together and blocking out trips, but some sort of a random handout. So you're kind of forced to meet new people. I always think that's the one thing that I would like to see more of at the conference is opportunities for people who don't know each other to really come together and kind of mingle just outside of the evening.
Sort of key party style.
A lot of that, and I think Jen and I, we're going to talk about that in another session before the conference, but I think a lot of that's on yourself. So like any good conference, we're all grown-ups. When we're doing the random, the speed tasting, go sit at a table where you don't know anybody. If you're not, opposed to getting on a bus with random strangers, that is part of the fun. And sometimes that happens if you don't get your ribbon in time, or if you, get split up on the buses. That happens to me in New York. I'm like, oh, well, okay, that bus is full. Just go with it and have a good time and meet people. And that's actually one of the primary reasons why I started the badge ribbons in the first place, is that's an icebreaker. A lot of people don't know each other. I don't know everybody, surprisingly. I know Stubbs is laughing at me, but it's true.
That's not true. That's a lie.
There are 385 people that are going to show up.
You know everything.
But it just helps you break the ice. Like you get a Stasi name badge that says Rosé Renegade, and say, oh my God, you love Rosé? I love Rosé. That's so cool. Let's get married. So.
Thea's right though. Meeting people is key, and I found at my first conference there was an intimidation factor because I hadn't been blogging long, and I'm meeting these people whose blogs I'm kind of reading to get an idea of how maybe I can do my thing. So I'm a little intimidated by them, and I feel like they know more than me. They have more blogging experience than I did, and Thea, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was your tiara I ended up in my room with.
Maybe.
Oh,
yeah. So once again, you have to put yourself out there. And I will say that every conference since then, I'd make a point to just talk to whoever's standing next to me, or walk over and talk to someone who's not talking to someone else, because I know how that was. I mean, it is an intimidating thing, even though I had this great knowledge and which has grown since then of wine, but I was still intimidated by a little starstruck to some degree.
Right.
And all these things are just going on, and you're drinking a lot too, so it is important to talk to people.
Spit cup. But I will.
Yes, that is very true.
Spit cup, yeah,
absolutely.
And Rhett, the other piece of advice I would give you and Jen as newbies is, if you really want to do the conference right, don't expect to sleep much, because the after-hour parties go to 2, 3, sometimes later, sometimes sunrise, 4. Yes, exactly. Depends on. So, plan on from Thursday night, maybe you'll get some, but from Friday morning to Sunday morning is pretty much 48 hours of nonstop fun and socialization.
Looks like we go from like 9 in the morning.
Well,
to
so
9
I'm gonna
no, to 9 in the morning to 9 in the morning, and then 9 in the morning to 9 in the morning.
I'm gonna jump in
24
there.
hours.
The real
I think
conference.
a lot of conference.
Go ahead, Thea.
I think
Question for Jenny, maybe. Just wondering how many bloggers are
so.
signed
At the
up this
moment,
year.
there's 300 signed up. We expect probably to get another 100, but I'm going to jump in there, Chris, because I actually disagree with you, and I think we're going to talk about this on another session. But it's really important to don't expect to do everything, because you're going to have a really miserable time if you do every single thing, and you're not going to go to the conference. I want everybody on this chat to go to the sessions they want to go to, and if you're up until 3 in the morning partying, you're not going to go to the sessions, and that really pisses me off. As someone who runs the scholarship and someone who is on board of advisories, please don't miss the sessions. It's really insulting. It's really disrespectful. You're at a conference. You're not at a party. Go have fun, go party, go do whatever, but make sure that you go to the sessions, because if you're going to the conference to party, you might as well just go to a party. So make sure you go to content and you go have a good time, but you don't need to do every single session. You don't need to do every single party. There are going to be 5 to 10 parties every single night. You're not going to be able to do all of them. It's just not humanly possible. And I go to a tech conference every year that I pay a lot of money for. I go out after the conference, but at a certain point, you need to go home and go to bed because you have sessions you need to go to the next day.
And Reggie made a really good point. The first thing he asked me in this broadcast was like, what do you plan to get out of it? And I think having a clear vision, what you plan to get out of it, that is a balanced approach is going to help achieve your goals. And one of the, we're talking about like meeting people and getting to know people and doing all these different ice-breaking events. And this is going to be my moment where I do my little plug. Another way to meet great people and not feel like you're left out is to do more of these events. I have 4 of them planned over the next 4 weeks. This is number 1. And they're all up here at our Facebook group, which is called Livestream. They're all up there. We're going to go through each day of the conference. You're going to meet people. I've already met, like 6 more people than I knew yesterday face to face. So if we get stranded on a bus together, at least you know who I am. So please join us for the rest of the events too. And tell your friends. Tell your friends. I really appreciate the insights both from the veterans and then like Rhett and I, who come at this from like somebody had said virgin eyes. I am actually a little bit luckier than Rhett is, because I went to the wine tourism conference, and that's kind of like the baby version of the bloggers conference, because it's a different atmosphere. It's very business centric, marketing, a little bit of networking, but I don't think it's as mature as what the bloggers conference is. And if anybody's been to that, they maybe they have a little bit of a sense. It was in Loudoun County, so I kind of know your role too, Jenny. You're kind of like the county or the association that's hosting everything and putting everything together. So get to know Jenny, because she's going to be around a lot, and she's definitely going to be there throughout. You're going to be there throughout the conference, right? Hanging out with us. And,
pre and post conference. Actually, I have one question before we sign up. That's okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was just wondering if all of you had, maybe one do or one don't for wineries hosting the Friday night pre-excursion. Do not do this, or make sure you do this. What impresses you when you go to these Friday night excursions?
I will tell you, in my experience in 9 years, my biggest pet peeve is they ask us what our allergies are when we register, and then they totally ignore it. I'm deathly allergic to shellfish, and this is in Portland. All they had to eat for vegetarians, everybody, was shellfish. I will die if I eat shellfish. Vegetarians don't eat shellfish, and they had no options. So that is like my biggest, most ginormous pet peeve. It's like, be respectful to your audience. Other than that, just get to know the bloggers, engage with them. The only other negative experience I had on my excursions, which was the second Wine Bloggers Conference, is we were at a winery where they all talked to each other and not to us. And that we're there to learn wine. They didn't pour us any wine. We're like, 4 wineries and no one's talking to us. This is not right. So that's the only other negative.
Wow.
Yeah, engagement.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll reiterate that. I'll reiterate what Thea's saying, which is to really, I think the important thing for the wineries is to make it an immersive, hands-on experience for the bloggers and to really interact with them. Because if it comes either standoffish, like just a regular tasting or, kind of a distant tasting, or if it comes off as much more of a marketing type of spiel where they're really sort of going through the rote motions, it's going to detach the folks that you want to impress to write about this. So to, make it as immersive and to really find something special, find that one thing that makes that winery different and really showcase that. I think that's going to be important for the wineries to do.
Awesome.
That
would
be
my
I think also if you
Stubblefield
about the wine.
Sorry, I was just looking down because I'm taking notes. So sorry.
Sure.
No, I kind of agree. Like the times I've had, and I haven't had a horrible experience on any of my wine excursions, to be honest with you. They've all been great, but there have been some that are more engaging. I do think the engagement is important, and the winery owner, staff, winemaker, whoever's there hosting, really trying to as best they can. And if these excursions are really this small this year, really engage each person who's there.
Right.
I think will really make it a good time and be willing to answer questions. But I don't know, all of the winery excursions I've been on have pretty much been like that. So I can't say there's pet peeves, but some have been more engaging than others, and that always makes you feel like you're at home. Like that's kind of what you.
One thought along those lines is like, we go to a lot of most of us go to a lot of wineries. We have a lot of wine experiences. If there's something super unique about your winery or super unique wine or something that makes you stand out, share that. Don't share your everyday wine that you sell at Safeway. Share what's unique, what's different, what's special, because that's what we want to know about it. That's going to get us to write about it, because there's going to be 100 different wineries over the course of 4 days. Why are we going to write about it? Give us something special.
Right.
Yeah, and Leanne in the comments has had some really good points, which is that everybody tries to give handouts and tasting notes and whatnot, and deep down, most people are going to toss those away. What we want is the story behind the wine, because that's what's really going to stand out and help us remember. And maybe not necessarily about an individual wine, but the story behind the winery, because that's what's going to help make them memorable. So focus on more of that storytelling aspect than just the nuts and bolts.
That's a great idea. Talking about thumb drives and Dropbox. Like, if there's a collective amount of information that we can just get emailed to us, that's so much better than trying to sort through the pamphlets. And then, like Chris says, tell us the stories. Tell us how to connect with the name later on.
And honestly, ditch the thumb drives, because I have about 400. Just give us a Dropbox, give us a URL. I know thumb drives for all their again, after 9 years of doing this, I literally have an entire drawer full of thumb drives. I don't use them because I use Dropbox. So if you give us a URL or give us a Dropbox, I will love you forever.
I second this on Thea. I cleaned out my office.
Yeah, I would third that as well.
And I not only threw away pamphlets and flyers that I've received at bloggers conferences, 4 years ago, but I also have more thumb drives than I think any human being could ever use for any reason.
And if they're going to do
whatsoever.
swag, have the interesting swag,
not
pens or sticky notes or bottle openers are okay, but I still have a lot of those. But a unique piece of swag will go a long way.
Okay.
And
these are
like
this
those
is so
foil
great. Thank you.
Stripping? No.
And Jenny,
sort of like your name on a grain of rice kind of thing. That's interesting, right, Chris?
T-shirt.
Exactly. A Cougarand. A Cougarand would go a long way for me.
Just ignore
Little
that.
Purell for when you
Noted.
Pieces of chocolate.
Hey, if any of the wineries would like to come on throughout the course of the shows, please bring them on. They're welcome. They can come and give the URLs out.
Yeah.
Justin wants to come on. I'm going to drop off. So good to see everybody. I'm going to run to a play. I'll see you possibly next Monday.
Enjoy it.
Join us next Monday.
Bye, Thea. I still love you the most.
I love you more. See you in 3 weeks.
So who wanted to come on? Justin, you want to come back on? Yeah. Seriously, if any of the
You
wineries
totally
want to
got
come
password.
on and just share a little bit, we can rotate them in and out and figure it out along the way. We would love to, and then they can share their information, and we can. They don't even have to worry so much. The bloggers will already have the information.
Yeah. Well, and as far as storytelling, I'm a story writer. I don't write about the wine as much as the story, and the wine is in the context of the story. So I would rather not necessarily hear like the detailed story. I want my experience to be the story, but I kind of appreciate the history. For example, McCollum and Glenn, knowing the history behind the vineyard and the experiment and why they went that direction was great for me to tell my story. But then I could tell my story in the context of my visit. So that information is valuable.
Okay.
I went to the wine. Oh, what is it now? You throw a big thing up here.
The wine thing?
The wine thing.
Sorry about that, guys.
And I was able to talk to Michael David Winery.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they've got a fabulous story as a history. And I don't even feel like what I wrote did it justice because it was only like 2 paragraphs. But I connected with them and with Concannon, and they're very excited to have everybody down there in Lodi. I'm going to jump off here so somebody.
Well, John Concannon is a super pro blogger, and he loves people telling stories about Concannon and his 3rd generation. Everybody's super excited about it.
Yeah, for sure. And I love the story behind a wine. Like somebody else was just saying, like you can try 5 different wines from a winery. One's going to stand out to you, but the story behind the winemaker and the family is what's worth writing about.
Okay.
So I wanted to jump on. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not.
Whoa.
Yeah, you're totally echoing, Justin.
Fantastic.
You're like Max Headroom. It's kind of awesome.
How about now? Am I okay?
You're a little bit better now.
Okay, cool. So I wanted to jump on to answer that idea about sharing on jump drive. I am putting together I'm sorry about the echo.
If you have headphones, it tends to help, but.
All right, how's that?
No, it's okay. I know I'm back with Max Headroom.
Bam! He's got him. He's ready.
Justin, before you put your headphones on, say, is everybody in?
Hello, Danita.
Is everybody in?
Danita?
Okay. It's weird.
Hello, Danita.
Computer issues. So how's that better?
No, it's worse.
Sorry. Yeah.
Just go.
Okay. So the reason I wanted to jump on is because I didn't want to type all of this. I am putting together a spirits OneDrive, basically a Dropbox, to share all of the bloggers' information for all of the spirits producers that are coming on board. Any winery that wants to be a part of that is welcome to do so.
Well, very nice. Oh, here we go. It's getting real now.
That's for the boys.